Well, we are at the Orange Empire Railway Museum, Perris, California. Jennifer, I came here a couple of years ago, and actually longer than that, a few years ago. I thought we had Zayden with us this time. Thought we'd come check it out again and shoot a few pieces, take you on a little tour of this place. It's really cool. All right, here we go. I have a couple of trolleys sitting out. The last time we were here, the barn was open. You could go inside there, but I guess it's probably part of the COVID thing that they've got it closed. But anyway, these are the yellow cars. I actually have a book at home about these. I knew about the red cars, but I never knew about the yellow cars till I got the book on it. Pretty interesting. And this one here, it says emergency on it. I don't know why it would say emergency, but this is a rail grinder. Today they have entire grinding trains that are quite a few cars long. You can see the wheels that they would use there to adjust the tension on the grinder, how much rail they were going to grind off. This was to take the lips off of rails and smooth the tops of them out again. Pretty cool. This is new since the last time we were here. It's supposed to house the Fred Harvey Museum, but it's not complete yet. Outside looks really nice, the old Santa Fe style depots, and which is who the Harvey houses were generally associated with. But we'll have to come down again when this is all finished and opened up and check it out. One of the trolleys that operates here. We get on that here after a while when we get back around that side. This is inside the narrow gauge display. Grizzly Flats Railroad. Cool little engine. Locomotive. Baldwin. Not all narrow gauge locomotives were this small. Some of them were actually pretty good size for being narrow gauge locomotives. We have some of the cars in here. An old wooden box car, a livestock car. Some people call them cattle cars, but you know what? They haul sheep in them too. Gondola. These cars here, they had these on standard gauge too. These were the cars that they used to carry their stuff around before the advent of gang trucks and right-of-way roads, access roads. A hand car. Huh? And here we go. There's the cupola of the little caboose. Yeah, we use these. Indian pumps. These were still in use, are still in use on the railroad. We were required to carry at least one on our pickups. Tiny cook stove there, caboose cook stove. Some lunch pails. And a grandson.
You had to carry those?
So the reason the steering wheel is in here, okay, is because this is how we control everything for our fuel and everything from here, and this is what we can do to move it faster or slower down in here, okay? And then Of course, this would be like your stick shift, so, and what they call, there's only 3 gears on here, and then we have like an overdrive if we had to go faster. They use this kind of a vehicle when you couldn't get like a big crate or something on the train. They would take it to the next station, or if they were slow, they would take the mail to the next station, or they would use it to work on the railroad with the, you know, repair tracks and everything like that. So this is what they would take. Now, the funny thing is they left it just like you see it inside the truck. They didn't paint them, they didn't fix them up, and if it broke down and they couldn't fix it, they just knocked it off the rails and used it for parts and made now and out of the truck different parts. So pretty cool. Yeah, and it does run. It's loud. It's just we just don't have a muffler on it right now, but it runs up and down the track really good.
Now, would you like to explain where this came from and everything?
Actually, the truck we got up in Hawthorne, we actually bought it from a gentleman, and when we told him that we were going to make a rail truck out of it, he was all excited. And so when we started working on it, he came down and saw what we did to it, and he thought it was pretty neat. At first we didn't have the original windshield, so he found the windshield for us and the original dash inside. So he found that for us.
Cool.
So, but it's all original motor with the. We had it overhauled, but it's all it is. It's the same length as a regular truck. All we did was just bring it down to a 3-foot gauge across here. So our building here is 3 foot. What they run out there is 3'6" and 4'8". So. But this is what they would call original narrow gauge, 3 foot even.
All right. And if you're down here, make sure you come and check this out. Make a donation to keep the restoration on this thing going. And for the other things in the museum, you can always make donations to the Orange Empire Rail Museum. Cool cause. A little gas-powered motor car here. Those took the place of the hand cars back there. This one is in the process of being restored. They're looking for some motor parts for it. They need a magneto, a couple other things. They're going to get it running. This had been running about 20 years. Here we have another Baldwin narrow gauge. See, I was saying a while ago that not all narrow gauge locomotives are as small as that other one. That's the Chloe, and this is a good example of that. This is another Baldwin. They're the drivers for it. It's the cylinder and the steam chest.
That's our slopeless. That's what we move all of our equipment around.
The Emma, Nevada.
Yeah, go upstairs. Yeah, climb up there and see this.
Cool little sunset symbol. Southern Pacific on a wooden boxcar. Grizzly Flats tender. Beat up passenger car. This one's actually in pretty good shape here. And you use these big funky looking smokestacks on mountain trains in California. They were a form of spark arrestor. They weren't 100% effective, but they were better than straight stacks. This, most people probably know, this is an Armstrong turntable. And these were hand operated, are hand operated. This is a working turntable. They have some narrow gauge rolling stock out there. It's in pretty bad shape, but I'm sure they'll get it restored at some time. But anyway, looks like they're building a water tower there, or maybe they used to have one and they're taking it down. I don't know. Don't remember seeing it here when we were here last time. But anyway, Armstrong turntable. This is the party caboose. You can actually rent this to have a birthday party or some sort of party, whatever you want, I guess, in this caboose. Call the Orange Empire Railway Museum to make arrangements. Some old track equipment there. There is a tamper there. It's a far cry from the big cat tampers they use today, but I'll bet the maintenance away guys in the past were really glad to see something like that, so they didn't have to do it by hand anymore. And there's a regulator behind it, a ballast regulator. I don't know how old it is. They still pretty much look the same as that, but that one obviously has some age to it. And you probably noticed some of the footage I shot prior to this. They have standard and narrow gauge trolleys and trains here, so they have both tracks. This is all standard gauge over here. Got them a little diamond here. And you can see they have a lot of rolling stock here awaiting restoration. All that, and when I was doing the piece on the Armstrong turntable, you probably saw there was some narrow gauge rolling stock. There was also standard gauge rolling stock and a steam locomotive out there. It's been sitting there since a long time ago. I don't know, it was here last time we were here. They haven't done any work on it. These box cars here were all U.S. Navy cars used to ship Navy stuff around. Now, I don't imagine these were probably on the main line sometimes, but they probably spent most of their time on naval bases. And a little closer up with some of the old rolling stock. There's one of the old super shock control cars. I remember seeing those. Some PFE cars. An old UPSP PFE car. Old passenger cars. As you can see, those are the Navy cars I was just talking about. An old round top box car there. And then back there, that's not open to the public, but they have some cars back there. They have a lot of stuff here. Hopefully it'll all be restored and they can get more of these tracks operating, get trains running on them. This place has been here for a long time, but it still has a lot of potential. This is a cool little combo. A United States Air Force locomotive. I have no clue what the designation of that is. If anyone does, leave it in the comments below. Pretty cool center cab locomotive, and then the UP type cupola caboose with the cupola in the middle of the car. I have no idea. Let's see if we can figure out how old this thing is. It was last inspected in June of 19... Oh gosh, looks like it was last inspected in June of 75, and it looks like something in February of 1980. I don't know what the IDT, I don't know what that represents, but if anybody does, drop in the comments below. We'd all be interested in knowing that. At least I would. Now we have a Union Pacific. This looks like maybe a dining car or something, perhaps. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you know. But it has a UP bay window caboose connected to it, and I'll bet that there's probably some Union Pacific official somewhere just seething over that. And I think it's pretty cool. Back here, ooh, bunch of old locomotives back there. The little yard switchers. I don't know the designations of those either. If you do, leave in the comments below. And there's one of the museum's locomotives. I don't know the designation of that. If you do, please leave it in the comments below. All right, let's walk over there. Obviously a privately owned car. I can't see what that says on the other side of it. If anybody knows, dresser, tire, I can't tell. If you know what that is, drop in the comments below. Got a Southern Pacific cupola type caboose there. Those were not so common on the SP when I was working there after 1979. Most of them were bay windows, but you did see these occasionally. Got the trolley coming. Activating the wigwags. Jennifer and Zayden decided not to walk back here in the back 40 with me. They went up to buy us some tickets for the trolley and the train. So we'll walk back up that way. Okay, here we go. Taking a putt on the passenger train thingy that's being pulled by a Southern Pacific engine. Southern Pacific locomotive. I will get some shots of it when we depart the train.
Proud to say that we're moving faster than the other one. How fast do you think it could go?
How fast could it go? It could go really fast, but it's only going to go probably 10 miles, 15 miles an hour on this. Some of their rolling stock. Going back the other way down, back towards the, going by the depot here in a minute, the gift shop. You stick your head out when we get hit by a telephone pole, huh? That's one of the other working trolleys here. Trolley there. Peach basket wigwags. Some DNRGW baggage cars. That's actually a museum inside the museum, but it's closed right now. There's the shop or building where the narrow gauge stuff was, where we were earlier.
My truck.
You can see more of the old rolling stock there. A baggage car, a couple of baggage cars, another Navy car. There's an Army car, so now we have seen Navy cars, Army cars, and an Air Force locomotive. That looks like an old Amtrak there. Some old style tank cars. Bunch of containers. That's kind of railroad related. They haul a lot of them. I think these are those ones you can rent. Man, there is a boatload of them, no pun intended. Wow. Say hi, baby.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Some dilapidated old shacks, motor car house, tool shacks. I am assuming, I've never asked anyone here, I'm assuming that this track they run on was once part of the branch line that came out here to Perris, but I don't know. I'll find out though. And back into the yard. Oh, there's a nice looking pickup. Jennifer's holding her hands up because they got sunburned at the race yesterday. And they're really sore. All right, looks like that one's getting ready to take off. We'll get off this one, get on that one. Now we're gonna get on this one. This is a Pacific Electric car. Don't know about its vintage, but it went from Ventura Boulevard to Lankershim Boulevard and San Fernando, Reseda, Canoga Park. Okay, you can see that's the train we just got off of. The SP cars. This one's dinging and donging and hooting and hollering. There goes the other one. We can have a little drag race here. This car just goes out the same signal there. But this just goes out the same track that the train we just rode in. Get some shots of it straight out the front when we're coming back. So we go heading back toward the depot. This he never did the docent never did mention the vintage of this car, but he did say that at one time the Pacific Electric and the yellow car system operated 7,000 trains a day on schedules. I knew it was a lot, but I didn't know it was that much. Turnout here, spring switch. We're not taking the turnout, but it is a spring switch. Doesn't look like that track's been used in a long time, but it does have catenary over it. Oh, it's just a passing track. I see the other end of it up here. Maybe when they're running both cars at once. We're green up here, just going in the hole. Same hole we came out of, but this is a little more rough riding than the train we were on. It is a lighter and shorter car. It's still pretty cool. I would guess we're going about maybe 25 miles an hour, and say that these things went 70 miles an hour when they were out on open track back in the day. Man, if the track wasn't in real good shape, I'll bet that was quite a ride. See, the searchlight signals up there. Those were really good signals, and they're adjusted correctly. Out on the Pacific Electric car. There is the locomotive, the train we just rode out. Going in sidetrack here. All right.
This car is going to leave again for another trip before the main line goes. So if you want to stay on board, you can.
All right. Little putt, Pacific Electric trolley. All right, well, that will conclude our little trip and tour of the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Perris, California. This is a really cool place if you're in the area, in the Inland Empire, or anywhere close to it, and you like trains and history and railroad stuff. This is a really cool museum. Come on by, check it all out, make a few donations, help these people out, and enjoy yourselves as much as we did. Keep shooting me those ideas. Leave them in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We'll see y'all later.